Introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, so my name is Julius. I'm 20 something years old. I'm from Hong Kong and I study here in Italy. So I've been paying quite close attention to the protest. I was also back in Hong Kong during the summer for a month, and now I'm back here in Italy. Because if they don't have any protection, no mask, no glasses on, they will be filmed by the pro-Chinese counter-protesters, and then most likely than not, afterwards they will have their pictures posted online and have people threatened their personal safety, which is also something that has happened to me and other protesters around the world, really. So it is to protect ourselves. Hometown. So people living around the world, they do try to gather together to see whether they can organize something in this place that they currently live. So we also did that here in Milan. We managed to gather a good amount of Hong Kongers. Maybe they don't live in Milan, but they were also kind enough to travel from other parts of the country to be in Milan and to show solidarity with other fellow Hong Kongers and explaining to people around the world what's happening in Hong Kong. So what has happened was we had a rally at Duomo a couple of weeks ago, and initially it was quite peaceful. We had some discussion with some of whether it's explanation with tourists or other people. It went okay, but then at the end of when we are done at Duomo, we went to Castello, and that was when some pro-Chinese protesters, they tried to follow us, and then they took pictures of us, and then when we tried to get an aperitivo, before that we already had been surrounded by maybe 20, because we were only 10 or 15 people max. So before we went to the aperitivo, got on the tram, there were already some people that were provoking us, but then they got onto the tram and we got on the tram. It was fine, but when we got off the tram, they called even more people to harass us, to shout profanities at us, and to basically to threaten us. And they kept calling in more people, and eventually we were surrounded. We had nowhere to go, and we had to call the police.
It's scary, but
Yeah, because for women, there were actually threats of rape. So after we managed to disperse, when the police have been there, we went back and we realized that some of us had photos posted online, and then some people actually got threats, death threats, or threat of rape, especially the girls. So that's quite scary for some of them.
here.
Okay, so what I would like, I think I would go, and some of the people that I know would also go. What I would like to let the Italian people watching this is that this kind, it's a clash of values. It's the way that how the Chinese government deals with people that they disagree. So that's the fundamental difference between Western culture and the Chinese culture. In the Western culture, people that have different opinions, they are allowed into the establishments. For instance, even with Brexit, for instance, you have Nigel Farage. He was using the occasion being in the European Parliament to say something against the EU, but then he was not punished. He was allowed, which was completely opposite to how the Chinese Communist Party deals with people that they don't like. When they deal with people they don't like, they prosecute them, they disqualify them as to not allow them into the establishment, and they disappear them, and they try to punish them in whether in many different ways, whether it's in the financial manner or whether it's giving pressure to the dissidents. So it's happening across the world, and it's not just happening in Hong Kong. What we have experienced in Hong Kong is the playbook of the Chinese Communist Party. What they have done in Hong Kong, they will do this in other countries as well, as we have seen already around the world. So what we are dealing with the Chinese Communist Party threat is that it's a fundamental divide between countries or individuals or citizens' value system that is freedom of speech versus suppression of speech, and it's either one way or the other, and you can't stand in between. You have to choose. So it's also what happened in the NBA team last night or a couple of days ago, when the general manager of Houston Rockets, he tweeted a post in support of Hong Kong protests, and then he got many Chinese people just replied on Twitter to denounce him, and then forcing him to apologize, and then they had the Chinese media outlets stop broadcasting the games of Houston, and they tried to punish. They tried to pressurize the NBA and the Houston team to fire the general manager. So this is the Chinese Communist Party's model of being. If they don't like something, they will do whatever they can in whatever ways to try to silence people that don't agree with them.